Okay, business interest. We're going to start with the three basic types of business interest in terminology. This gets very confusing for people. Well, hopefully we'll clear up some of that confusion. First, there is a corporation. Corporation management, they're managed by either officers, a board of directors, or both. Owners are called stockholders or shareholders, and they own shares of stock. In a partnership, management consists of general partners, and owners are partners or limited partners in a limited partnership. In a limited liability company or LLC, management is by managers and possibly a board of directors, and owners are known as members. So the important thing to understand is that in a corporation, owners are shareholders. In a partnership, they're partners. In an LLC, they're members. Those terms are otherwise related, but we have different terms for them. Now, you want to transfer your stock to a trust if it's a closely held corporation. Review the articles of incorporation and the bylaws to see what might be required. Record changes in the trust records, and it might require a board of directors meeting with that transfer on the agenda, a stockholders meeting with that transfer on the agenda, corporate resolution and consent for approval. Now, normally, stock isn't that difficult, but occasionally the articles will require this. It may require approval by appropriate interests. Record that transfer in the books, the transfer ledger, which you're going to see that again. Sign the stock certificates, usually on the back. Note that Section 1244 stock cannot go into a trust. So if you have Section 1244 stock, you might want to consider something like a transfer on death designation. Transfer your partnership to your trust. Review the partnership document. Now, it gets a lot trickier with partnerships and LLCs because frequently there are restrictions on transfer, sometimes significant restrictions. Record changes in the record. That may require a partners meeting with that transfer on the agenda, a partnership resolution and consent for approval. It might require approval by appropriate interests like the general partners. Then record the transfer in the books, again on the transfer ledger. Sign the partnership certificates, usually on the back. Now, my experience is that relatively few partnerships have certificates, but some do. With an LLC, with a limited partnership, you transfer the limited partnership to your trust. You need to review the partnership agreement to see what restrictions on transfer there are. You want to record changes in the records. You may need to do a general partners meeting with that transfer on the agenda, limited partners meeting. Now, in a lot of sophisticated limited partnerships, it requires 100% vote of the general partners and the limited partners to make transfers. That's an asset protection and tax strategy, by the way. Partnership resolution and consent for approval. Approval by the appropriate interest. And then you record it in the company books, again, on the transfer ledger, and you sign the partnership certificates if they exist. In an LLC, you want to transfer that LLC into the trust. You want to review the company agreement. In other states, they are known as operating agreements. In Texas, they are called company agreements. Record the changes in the records, and that may require a manager's meeting, a board of directors meeting, a members meeting, resolution and consent for each approval, and approval by the appropriate interests, and then you record that in the company books, in the transfer ledger. Then you sign LLC certificates. My experience is LLCs rarely have certificates, but sometimes they do.